Shalom Aleichem. I hope everyone is doing well, enjoying the summer. Quiet time here in Yeshiva. Very, very quiet without the 140 Bachrim trampling all over the place. But Baruch Hashem, a time to regroup, get ready for next year. And it is Erev Shabbos Parashat Pinchas. I wanted to share a quick idea on the Parsha. And we all know that Chazal referred to Sefer Bamidbar as the Chumash HaPekudim. In English, we translate that to be the Book of Numbers. Chumash HaPekudim. And the reason it's called Chumash HaPekudim is because there were two fundamental counts of Klal Yisrael. One was in Parshas Bamidbar in the beginning of the Sefer, and one is in our Parsha, Parshas Pinchas, where we have another count, another census of the Jewish people. Now, these censi, the counting of the Jewish people, they're not the most interesting parts of the Chumash, yet Chazal saw fit to name Sefer Bamidbar Chumash HaPekudim, the Book of Numbers. Why this significance? I think the answer is very clear, is that these two countings highlight the two generations that really are encapsulated in Sefer Bamidbar. The first generation was the generation with such a great upside, with such potential for achievement. They left Mitzrayim, they saw Eser Makos, they saw Kriyas Yamsuf, they received the Torah, and they were supposed to march into Eretz Yisrael. And there was a count in the beginning of the Sefer, Parshas Bamidbar, to get ready for entry into Eretz Yisrael. And things went off. Things went awry. And we have story after story that we've been reading about. In the past Parshas, you have the Meraglim, and you have Korach, and you have the potential curse of Bilam that we read in last week's Parsha, the sin of Moshe and Aaron hitting the rock, one thing after another. And ultimately this generation, with such promise, with such potential, is it going to end up dying in the Midbar. And now, starting with the end of Parshas Chukas and certainly Parshas Pinchas, we are 40 years later. And this is the end of the tenure in Midbar, and we're going to have a new count, a new people, a new generation. These are the children of the generation that left Mitzrayim, and a new census. So Chumash HaPekudim is really capturing the fundamental turning point in all of Chumash, and certainly in Sefer Bamidbar, of the transition between the door Hayotze Mi Mitzrayim and the door Hanichnas LeEretz Yisrael. Now, when we look at this counting, you'll find something very interesting. So if you look at the population of Shevet Binyamin, so the Torah tells us that Shevet Binyamin was, in population, 45,600 members strong. Wow. Shevet Dan, on the other hand, was 64,400. That's approximately a 20,000 person difference between Shevet Binyamin and Shevet Dan. Once again, Binyamin 45,600, Shevet Dan 64,400. 20,000 person difference. So tell me, Rebbe, who cares? What's the difference? Why the focus? Well, it's interesting. How many children did Binyamin have? Binyamin ended up being the fourth smallest Shevet. Binyamin had 10 children. And despite having 10 children, a large family, large offspring, was the fourth smallest Shevet. How many children did Dan have? Dan was the second largest Shevet. How many children did Dan have? One child. And who was that one child? That one child, you may recall, from the end of Sefer Bereshis, Chushim ben Dan. I think that's the shortest pasuk in the entire Chumash. Chushim ben Dan was Dan's sole child. Yet from Dan, from Chushim, comes the second largest Shevet. And who was Chushim? Chushim was deaf. We don't know that much about Chushim, but what we do know is that when Esav demanded to be buried with Yaakov, and demanded something that wasn't his, that was not appropriate, so Chushim, everyone else kind of was standing idly by, watching this go on, and Chushim ben Dan, the deaf Chushim ben Dan, he couldn't stand idly by. He had to take action, and he got up, and he did something very, very dramatic. He severed Esav's head from his body. Did something very, very dramatic. Chushim while everyone was deliberating, negotiating, discussing the merits, yes, no, etc., Hushim understood in his very, very basic form that action had to be taken. Perhaps similar to the beginning of this week's parasha. Pinchas understood, Kanoim Pogimbo, that there's certain times for deliberation, negotiation, finesse, what should we do, meetings, etc. And sometimes you just have to act. And perhaps b'schus the actions of Hushim ben Dan, you'd have never predicted. If you looked at the family of Binyamin, 10 children, the family of Dan, one deaf child, you have never predicted what would have emerged. How Shevet Dan emerged in terms of its count, how Shevet Binyamin emerged in terms of its count. But certain, if you will, situations have a certain hashgacha, have a certain unanticipated result. And we see that all the time in life. Sometimes a parent can look at his 3 children, say, this one, that's going to be the one who's really going to achieve. And this one, he's going to go ahead and get through life. And somehow, through life's challenges, ups and downs, nisyonos that occur, the unexpected child, he's the one that emerges. It all depends on one's siyat d'shmaya. And perhaps, again, Hushim ben Dan set a certain framework, a certain passion that he had that enabled Dan to become the second largest Shevet. Nothing against Shevet Binyamin, but it teaches us a very fundamental lesson, is that when opportunities present themselves, and we act, we do, we perform, so potentially unexpected big things can happen. Have a wonderful Shabbos.